What is up, guys? Welcome back to another comparison video where we're going to be discussing the LPZZ Deathstroke versus the INART Deathstroke from Origins or the Arkham series. So here we have the LPZZ. We always start with the LPZZ because usually we have more information on LPZZ. It should be releasing in January or early 2026. And honestly, this guy looks insane. His design, his accessories, the textures on this figure are so good. The articulation is insane. This guy right here might hands down be one of the best 112 Deathstroke figures in my opinion. I don't even have him yet, but from what I'm seeing, this guy looks fantastic. I have the Revoltech Deathstroke and this guy is just looking to give it some competition. Now, let's go over the accessories first. As you can see, it comes with the unmasked head sculpt, the long staff, an AR pistol, some kind of grappling looking gun, 5 pairs of hands, a knife, 2 swords. You can see he is loaded with accessories. This guy has a lot of stuff. Now, there is something that I was a little iffy about this figure when compared to the INART. So, if you look at the figure, it looks like a light blue, and also in light sometimes it could look silverish, and it's like a dotted texture. It's hard to explain. So it looks great, don't get me wrong, it looks amazing, and this is more of a battle damaged version of Deathstroke, but the colors are a little off here. They're a little off when compared to the original design of Deathstroke. It's meant to be, a saturated blue, a saturated orange. Here he's less toned down because he is battle damaged. So that's one thing. He's also clearly battle damaged. You can see a lot of scrapes everywhere, scratches all over the mask. There's a lot of battle damage. I think it looks good, but it kind of looks like copper and I don't know how to describe the blue, right? It looks a little, it looks a little something, right? Now we're going to move over to the INART, right? Whereas the INART has that more saturated blue, that darker blue, and that more saturated orange as well. So you can clearly see that there's color differences here. There's texture differences. There's big differences between these two figures. Even the way that the proportions look. The proportions are way better on the LPZZ. But I believe that the INART is more accurate to the way that he looks in the game. The gauntlets look bigger on him. The knee pads look a little bigger and more armored, if that's what you want to say. But the thing is that even if it's more accurate, I think in figure form, LPZZ looks so much better. He looks like a unit in the LPZZ. Here he looks like a skinny guy in big armor. And I'm not a fan of that. I'm really not a fan of that. To backtrack on that, I believe that the LPZZ is from Arkham Knight. And the Deathstroke here is from INART. The Deathstroke from INART is actually from Arkham Origins. They both clearly take inspiration from the same source material, but they look different. They do look different. And if you want a more accurate Deathstroke to the game, I say, hey, get the INART. If you want somebody who is hands down going to have better articulation, better accessories, and looks a little bit more proportionate, and looks a little bit more, I'd say, muscular opposed to armored, then the LPZZ is also the way to go. Now, there's some pictures where the lighting just makes the LPZZ look a little too light blue, if that makes sense. It almost looks like I said, silverish, grayish blue. It looks like blue jeans or something. You know what I mean? I don't know how to feel about that, but I also really like how the textures pop. The textures are completely different, but I think they went a little overboard on the LPZZ. Personally, I'm going to be picking up the LPZZ. He's already up for pre-order on 5K Toys, as well as I think Toys Metaverse and some other websites. So you can already go pre-order him. Whereas the INART is not available for pre-order yet. I believe people are expecting it to go up for pre-order in December. We have no pictures of the articulation. we have no pictures of anything for the INART except for him holding the sword and the way that he looks. So there's a lot of incentive to go pick up the LPZZ. There are a couple pictures where the LPZZ looks a little less gray and looks a little bit more blue. I guess it remains to be seen when we see him in hand. But I think that the reason why he looks the way that he does is because it's supposed to be a battle damaged version. Also, the INART is in a very dark background, so we also don't know if that's how the INART is going to look as well in hand. But the INART obviously looks a little bit more saturated and darker when compared to the LPZZ. It's a really hard figure to describe and a really hard figure to explain, but I hope you see the differences that I'm kind of like hinting towards. I have a few concerns with the articulation of INART. Honestly, I think INART articulation is pretty rough around the edges. Whereas the LPZ, you saw that Arkham Batman, they came and they delivered. And this LPZZ promo pictures, they look crazy. The poses on the pictures are insane. So no concerns over articulation on LPZZ side. But if you want accuracy, go INART. If you want to spin on the Origins and Arkham Knight take, but also a battle damaged version, I guess you could say, because it is more battle damage. That's kind of like what they're going for. Whereas the INART on the left, you can see clearly just looks like Deathstroke's normal suit, no battle damage. Doesn't really look like he's been in too many fights with it. There is like a couple scuffs here and there, but it looks pretty clean to me. So it's all about personal preference, you know. Again, I'm doing these videos for you guys to pick and choose which one you want to buy. Another thing I want to note here is that the wrist pegs, as you can see, the gauntlets are really big on the INART, that the wrist pegs are kind of in place. I wonder how much the gauntlets are going to hinder articulation. Whereas on the LPZZ, you can see a little bit of the wrist peg, but that means that you're going to get a lot of articulation out of it. I hope you guys enjoyed this comparison. I hope you guys, you know, got something out of it. A lot of people are rooting for this LPZZ, and I am too. But there's a lot of people who really like and prefer the INART version. I think the INART version looks great. But since I'm already getting a second Deathstroke, since the Revoltech kind of has like the comic colors and it's a little bit saturated in the orange and a little bit, you know, darker blue, I don't really need to worry about getting a Deathstroke that has the right colors. I'd rather get a Deathstroke that I know I'm going to enjoy for sure. And that'll certainly be the LPZZ. Because I already have a comic Deathstroke, or comic looking Deathstroke. I think I'm going to head for the LPZZ this time. Let me know what you guys are thinking about picking up. If you guys are going to get the INART, if you're going to get the LPZZ, if you have the Revoltech and you think that's enough for you. Or if you're not going to get anything and you don't even care about Deathstroke, you know? Let me know your thoughts. Which one do you think looks better? Which one do you think you would buy if you were to buy one? I just want to hear what you guys think about these figures, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.